Cluster analysis is a technique which use distances to allocate the cases to the different clusters. In contrast to the classification technique is a technique in which the class variable exists, so that the classification is a technique which is known as supervised learning. While cluster analysis data does not contain the class variable, and on the basis of distances we have to allocate the cases to the different clusters. So this technique is known as unsupervised learning. So cluster analysis needs distances to calculate from the cluster centers. So how many clusters are you want to construct, and in how many cluster you want to distribute the data. So that is an input. The user has to input how many cluster you want to make. The another thing which is needed in the cluster analysis is the initial cluster values, or the initial cluster means. Initial cluster means can be supplied by the user, or it can be calculated directly by the help of software. The software SPSS will initially collect the cluster centers on the basis of the distances. Most probably, if we are going to construct 3 clusters, then the quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3 can be used as a initial cluster centers. So this is the technique, and this technique will be repeated, and every time the distances are to be calculated from the cluster centers, and all the points will be reallocated on the basis of the distances. The distances, smaller distances will be allocated to the one cluster, and then we have another cluster. The points which are closer to the another cluster center will be allocated to the cluster 2, and so on. So this procedure is repeated until we have a similar distances, or the allocation of cluster will be stable. So this is the technique which we are going to implement. This technique is used for classifying the customers. So in this application, the telecommunication provider want to segment the customer based on the service users pattern. So we have to classify the customers. We have to group the customers on the basis of their service usage. Those customers who has a high usage of service will be allocated to the cluster number 1. Those customers who have a moderate usage of service in the communication sector, they are allotted to the cluster number 2, and those customers who are using the minimum service of telecommunication are to be allocated in cluster number 3. So we are interested to construct 3 cluster, or we want to classify the all customers of a telecommunication provider into 3 segments. For the cluster analysis, we need standardized variable. So what the variables are and what type of data we are using to analyze this this application. So teleco underscore extra.sav is a file which is available in the sample files of the SPSS folder. So I'm demonstrating this file to you. This file is, you can find this file in the folders of where the SPSS is installed. This is the file teleco underscore extra.sav. In this file, we have 46 variable and approximately we have 1000 cases. The total number of cases, there are 1000 cases. You can see here 1000 cases. The variables are what? Region, tenure, age, marital status, address, income, education, employee. So you can see these variables here in the list of variables. Now region is a numeric variable, not numeric variable. it is a categorical variable, geographical indicators. You can see how many zones we have, zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The customers are allocated into the 5 different zones. So this is the first variable, region. Tenure, month of service, months with service. Months with service means how long this customer is loyal with this company. So this is another variable. And there is no value labels here. And next is the age, which is a quantitative variable. So we may see that this is a variable which is scaled. So you can see that is age is a scaled variable. The next scaled variable is tenure. Tenure is also a scaled variable, how long the customer is with this company. Then the marital status is a variable which is a categorized, and 2 levels we have, unmarried persons and the married person, 0 and 1. These are the 2 levels of. So in the same way, we can have all of these variables, but e-bill is the last variable basically, because these are unstandardized variable. Because cluster analysis needs the variable to be standardized, so all of the standardized variable will also be found in this file. Z long, Z ln long, Z in long, int all, ZLN equi. These are the different variables which are standardized variables. Some variables are taken after, some variable are considered after taking log, and then their Z scores are computed, but other are direct. That is like Z e-bill. The Z e-bill is a direct Z score of e-bill variable. Electronic billing. E-bill means electronic billing. And one more variable is there, and that is customer category. Customer category is a basic service, e-service, plus service, toll service. The last variable is churn. Churn variable is an important variable. It has 2 values. It is a binary variable or a dichotomous variable. It has 2 levels, yes and no. Means if the customer is loyal to the company or will switch to the another company. So that is the churn variable. The churn variable, most of the time we use churn variable to identify the customer who will be the loyal customer with the company or who will left the company in the next year or the next month. So churn variable, if we are going to use the churn variable, so most of the time the classification technique is to be used. Because churn variable is a dichotomous variable, we have to classify the customers on the basis of their loyalty, on the basis of the initial independent variable. So if you are going to use the churn variable in the analysis, then instead of cluster analysis, you should use classification technique. But we are not using the churn variable here. The reason is we are going to cluster the customer on the basis of their distances. So how Z scores and the Z variables are computed, I am just demonstrating one version of Z score for the variable age. If you are going to include one more variable, which is a standardized version of age, so go to the analyze, click on descriptive, click on descriptives again, and then you have to select the variable which you want to standardize. I want to standardize the age, so you have to click age here and choose this option. Save standardized values as variable. So if you click this, then a standardized version of Z will be included in the data file. So there is no variable Z age here. After implementing this procedure, I will demonstrate you the age variable will be there. Now you can see that the Z age is another variable which is computed, Z score, age in years, and the data will be in the last column of this data file. Now this is the standardized variable. How this variable is computed? all of you are familiar with the computation of Z scores. So Z variable is computed by Z is equal to the age of the customer minus the mean age of the customer divided by the standard deviation of the age of the customers. So the mean and standard deviations, some SPSS will calculate the mean and standard deviation automatically, and then age of each customer, the mean is subtracted and divided by standardized. This is the standardized version of, but this variable is already exists. So I am deleting this variable because I demonstrate this variable just for purpose how to calculate the Z scores in SPSS. So I'm just deleting this variable because in this case study, we are using the k-mean clustering to identify the customers into number of clusters. The number of cluster is suggested by the user in SPSS, and initial cluster means can also be suggested by the user, or SPSS can directly use the initial cluster centers automatically by using some distance techniques. Most probably the data which is used as a teleco extra.sav, this data file is to be used. In this data file, we have the several variables, but we are doing cluster analysis, which is unsupervised learning. So the class variable is not there. Now to analyze the data, we have to click on analyze and classify. There are the three methods of clustering: two-step cluster, k-mean cluster, hierarchical cluster. So I'm using the k-mean cluster here, and then click next. All of the standardized variable are to be used and as a variable, and there is no option of dependent variable in cluster analysis, because for a method of cluster analysis, the class variable is not required, or the dependent variable is not required. On the basis of all of the independent variable, we can perform the cluster analysis. And then you have to use the k-mean cluster by specifying the maximum number of iterations and convergence criteria to the 0. So if we specify the maximum iteration to the 30, and the algorithm run up to a stable position after the position of 20 iteration, then procedure stop at the 20 iteration. So we have to specify the maximum number of iteration here. In the ANOVA table, we have to select the ANOVA table for the output. Initial cluster center are to be shown in the output, and the cluster information. Exclude cases pairwise and exclude cases listwise. These are the two options. Already you have idea about that. Exclude cases pairwise is a better option as compared to the listwise, because it reduces the sample size too much. Now this is the syntax of the entire procedure. You can see the independent variable which are used for the purpose of cluster analysis. Then missing basis is a pairwise option I chose. 3 number of cluster I choose. You can change the number of cluster. You can change the number of maximum iteration as well. Method is the k-means, and you have the other options are what hierarchical clustering or two-step clustering. So these are the three methods, but I choose the k-mean method here. In the output, initial cluster centers are shown. ANOVA table is to be represented in the output, and distances are to be shown. So these are the three tables which are included in the output. Now we can see the clusters, initial cluster centers. How initial cluster centers are to be chosen by the SPSS. So if we are going to split, then 3 points are selected so that equidistance point these are. So the well-spaced observations are to be used as the initial clusters by SPSS. So these three items are chosen by the algorithm itself. Now we can see the iteration history here, the progress of the clustering process at the each step. We can see that the changing cluster centers in out of 18 iterations, initially we have higher distances in the cluster centers, but that is to be stabilized and we have a zero outcome there. So we can see that at if we specify the 10 clusters or the 10 iterations, then we can see that the output will not be stabilized at the 10th iterations. The 20 iterations, I think it is stabilized at the 18th iteration. There is no need of the 19 and the 20th iteration. The early iterations, the cluster centers shift quite a lot, but later on slightly changes, you can see here. Now, the algorithm stops because the maximum iterations are 20 and it is stabilized at 18th level. If we specify the 10th maximum 10th iteration, then algorithm is not stabilized. Now, ANOVA table identify the sig values. Sig values indicate that all of the variables which are included in this analysis having the p-value smaller than 0.05. So we can say that all the variables are significant variable for the cluster analysis. But F statistics shows out of these number of variables, which of them are having the most relevant variable for the analysis. So we can see that the highest F values are where? The highest F value is 806, 802. This is the highest value. After this, so this is against the variable standardized caller ID. And then the next level of variable which is most relevant is 743, and third one is these are the most relevant variable for the cluster analysis. This is the number 1 variable, this is number 2 variable, this is number 3 variable. Now we have to switch to the next output. F statistics are shown and cluster centers are then represented. The final cluster centers are computed as the mean of the each variable within the final cluster. The final cluster center reflect the characteristics of the typical case for the each cluster. So we can see that 0.05, 0.22, minus 0.16. Later on, instead of the first variable, in the remaining variable, we can see that the highest value of the cluster center will be in the first cluster, 0.24, 0.12, 0.105, and so on. So everywhere we have a higher value here, and then the moderate value in the middle, and then the lowest value is in the third cluster. This is an indication that customers in cluster 1 tends to be the big spenders who purchases a lot of service. Means they are spending most in the telecommunication utilities. And the second one, cluster number 2 is spending, and the least spenders are in cluster number 3. How many customers are there in these 3 clusters? The next table indicate that there are 482 customers in cluster number 3, and there are 292 customers in cluster number 2 and 2. So mostly about 50% of the customers are less spenders in this analysis. Means they are not too much contributing in the company's sale or the company's profit. Now, another table which is important here is the table of the Euclidean distances between the final cluster centers. So you can see that the cluster 1, 2, 3 here and here, the distance between the cluster 1 and cluster 1 is 0, 0, 0. So that is the diagonal value is not represented. The clusters 2 and 3 has a higher distance. The greatest distance between the cluster correspond to the greater dissimilarities. It means there is a greater dissimilarity between the cluster 2 and cluster 3. But in cluster number 1 and cluster number 3, is quite less stable, the less distance we have in that. So we have a less dissimilarity between 1 and 3. Still we have a 1 and 2, the 3 and 1 and 3 and 2, we have a large dissimilarity in these two clusters. So dissimilarity indicate that if we have less dissimilarity, we can merge some of the clusters if we need. Now cluster number 1 and 3 are the most different clusters, while cluster number 2 and cluster number 3 is equally similarities we have. Cluster 2 is approximately equally similar to cluster 1 and 3. That is the analysis. Now 482 customers are allocated to the cluster 3 and 292 customers allocated to cluster number 2 and 1. So this is the this analysis is repeated with the 4 number of clusters, and the results are to be compared. I am stopping the video here because you can repeat the procedure by allocating it to the 4 number of clusters. Thank you very much for this video.